can be perfect even.
You know my point's valid.
Fuck off! No.
You do. It's true. It's true.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Well, what are we doing right now? Don't believe what she says.
You sure ได้แล้ว
Oh my god! It's episode 2 of the Saffy show, and I'm in the same goddamn outfit
Uh-oh. Stinky.
because we took this week
On a
apart.
different day.
Yeah, on a
Yeah,
different
this is
day.
a different day. We just wore the same stuff.
Today, we have Leon as a guest, and we are going to talk about coping with long distance because I would say we are somewhat experts on this topic. No, I'm just joking. I think we just are very public about our long distance. Well, I am very public about the trials and tribulations of being an LDR.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go. How long have we been doing LDR?
It's about 1.5 years now.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
only done LDR. So we met in another country, so our entire relationship has been long distance.
Yeah.
What would you think is like the pros of being an LDR?
I think there's some pros. Like the pro is that you still have your own individual life. I think that's a big pro because you
Yeah.
can still focus on your own career. Like you can still do the shit that you need to do. You still have your own like individuality in the relationship, which I think is underrated. I think that's good, but then it comes at the cost of like not being able to be with your person and not being able to build physically together at the same time. I think that's probably the biggest pro for me.
I think my pro is that I learn how to be more emotionally independent and not be so like codependent on Leon, because I think when I was younger I was kind of like more man-centered. Like if I like someone, I kind of like obsess about them and like go give them space and like just becoming like all-encompassing of them.
I was busy thinking about boys.
Yeah, it's like that still.
Fuck off.
It's just less.
No, but yeah, I mean
Yeah,
honestly
get your point.
yeah, I think like now how I am now is like a good version of that. So I think in the
Yeah.
past it was like a lot of like insecurities and maybe jealousy and neediness. I can't be alone. But now it's like I can be alone. I just want to spend time with my man.
Yes.
Do not come.
Another pro for me is that we were able to have a somewhat healthier pace of the relationship.
Mm.
Because I think in the past I always tend to like rush into everything, and it kind of like made the relationship not work out. Not that it's my fault entirely, but I think it's like too focused on just like rushing into things. Whereas like with him, I was able to still have boundaries and know like criteria of like what I wanted in a boyfriend, and like because he fit the criteria, I give him access to like my life and stuff like that. So it was like my most rational way of dating. I usually don't date very clear, like mentally clearly. I would say I go in with my toxicity first, but this is my least toxic relationship. So I've grown. I think con for me is that our relationship progressed at a very slow rate because we spend almost most of our relationship apart. We don't really grow together as a couple.
Yeah, I think the con for me also is something like that. Like when you do have time to spend together, it's short. Like it's like 2 weeks to a month or whatever, and then you can't.
Yeah.
It's hard to really progress the relationship because you just want to focus on having a good time. So you can't always have like serious conversations. You can't plan for the future because it's uncertain still. So I think and you don't want to as well. It's like subconsciously you don't want to because like there's no certainty in terms of what's going to happen.
Yeah,
So then it's kind of like an obstacle. Yeah.
I think it's difficult, like for me also, because I have to learn how to not miss you or like be okay with being alone, and then it also kind of like shut me out emotionally from our relationship also, because if I focus too much on those feelings, I'll become really sad or like just upset lah.
And I miss you.
So it causes me to also like put the relationship on the back burner a bit when we are not together.
Yeah, I think that's normal because like when you're apart, like you get into your own world, right? Like you're doing your job, you have your friends, you have your family, you have your life that you're living here solo. And like me too in Melbourne. and you're just trying to get through that as a way to not like focus on like what you said, like missing each other and stuff, because you don't want to get sad. So then you start to have a bit of tunnel vision and think more independently. Whereas like realistically in a relationship, if you want to progress it, you have to think about doing it together and how we're going to build it together. But you kind of can't. So it's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's like not here, not there. Lor. So I also, with this relationship, I also learned how to be more clear-cut with what I want. Because I feel like with long distance, you really just have to really communicate. Even if it's like a bad conversation, you need to have it, because it kind of is easy to like let negative feelings linger. Because if we don't talk about it, like, which we can, because like, you know, we're just talking on the phone every day.
Yeah, you don't have to actually address stuff.
You don't really have to address anything. And my experience from that is like, I think a lot of like negativity also like bottles into different areas in your life, and then it becomes like somewhat like resentment.
Yeah.
So I think it's also good that we fight.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't know the importance of like fighting till this relationship, because I think when I was younger, I didn't really know how to like voice out my feelings and like my emotions. But with Leon, he gives me like a safe space to do that, and I really enjoy it. So we do bicker, and I think it's a good thing, because then we also become closer when we resolve the fights. Like, okay, a story time of us, I think like we were fighting before he came to Singapore, because I really wanted him to visit me. So I kind of made up an excuse that I have a lot of work going on.
She didn't. Literally not working.
It did cost him a lot of money to visit.
3,000 on Scoot, bro.
I was like working, but like I could have worked like in Australia, like if I'm being very honest.
So you know how much it would cost her? 600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next time, the learning is don't believe what she says.
However, I want to emphasize that I just wanted him to come visit me, because I always went down to visit. So like in our entire relationship, it was like Leon only like visited once.
Yeah, but obviously there's reasons why.
Yes, there's reasons why.
Yes.
And
anyone who works 9 to 5 will know what those reasons are.
something about Leon is that he's very pragmatic. So he's not the kind to like drop everything to come see me, which I think you should be better at.
Yeah, but I can't. So like, I mean, like, it's a matter of can you or can't you, a lot of the time for most people.
So when he came, it was like a really nice gesture, and like we were able to kind of like hash out our differences. Like even when we were on holiday in Bangkok recently, we had to like talk about our differences, and it was actually like a turning point, I would say, because then we got like really close in our relationship also, like closer lah. And now I feel like we're back, kind of like back to normal, like even better. ASMR. ASMR.
No.
I think finding an effective communication style in conflict, as well as like everyday life, is super important, because if you guys don't talk in LDR, it's going to be so difficult.
Yeah. You actually need to talk.
Yeah. And for me, as someone who doesn't find it easy to speak my mind in difficult situations, I realize there are some things that I do that quite like definitely does help me. Like writing it down.
Diary.
I think like writing down things you want to say.
Yeah.
And texting. Like I usually text. If I'm like upset about something, I'll be like texting Leon like things that upset me, versus like I'll text first and then we'll move into a conversation on the phone.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
vice versa, yeah.
Yeah, because I think like something that I notice about myself is like when Leon is very argumentative with me, I like completely shut down. I just like don't really want to talk about it, and like I'm just like, fuck this guy, he's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, you shut down because there are a lot of times like you know my point's valid.
Fuck off! No.
You do. It's
No.
true. It's true.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Well, what are we doing right now? But yeah, like I get it, and at the same time, like it goes both ways though. You know, it goes both ways.
I think I also shut down because like the thing about, as you
Sometimes
can see,
you can't be fucked, man. Like
In Chinese, 闭嘴。
in long distance, sometimes you genuinely just can't
Yeah.
be bothered because you're just like, I'm dealing with all this other shit. I don't need to have this argument sometimes, and that's where when you shut down, it's probably the worst thing you could do, because then you don't get any closer to resolution, and then you start to resent, and then you start to go like, oh my fucking god, like this is so tough, and you start to spiral, and you start to go like, you subconsciously think like, is this even worth it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and that's normal. Like that's not a bad thing to think. Like, cause like you're isolated from the person that you want to be with, and sometimes you just need to literally just like hug it out or whatever. You know what I mean? Sometimes words not going to make a difference. You know what I mean? It's true. Sometimes you just need to be around each other. You know. So I think that's probably the hardest part with. That's probably the hardest part with long distance is like those times when you need to just like let it out physically, like through like a hug or like just have it out in like a face-to-face conversation. Where you can't hide and run away from the conversation, right? Because you can when you're on the phone. You
Definitely.
can. And like a lot of time you just don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? Because it's like fucking annoying. Like consider the fact that there's also time difference and stuff like that. So like you're also like, oh man, I only have an hour to speak to you. So I need to go to bed. I don't want to have that arguing. Because if I need to go to sleep, then I'm going to be all worked up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know tomorrow you got work and all this shit. So all this shit starts to compound and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm fucking not having a good time. You know what I mean? So then I think that's when it becomes challenging, and that's when, you genuinely like need to communicate really well. I think. And it's hard. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to actually be like pretty not perfect. But then when you meet up again, like it's not going to change that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's like something I also realized about like doing long distance is like when you see each other, like you also need to like dedicate some time to talk about issues that you all have, because it's better to communicate face to face, and like given that you can't really see each other that often and like you want to prioritize like good vibes and good time, like I'm like completely the same, but sometimes like it's hard to really be in the moment when like there's a lot of things that are not spoken about, and like it's just easier to just focus on like the bad stuff first and like talk through it and then enjoy the company after. Because I feel like if you don't do that, then you're just gonna be like, fake example, like hypothetical, like, oh, like, yeah, Leon did this today and it like fucking irked me. You know, like sometimes when you don't talk about it, like this person just becomes damn fucking irritating. No matter what they do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah, so it's like important that we like talk it out and make the effort to actually work through our problems. And then I think that's like a silver lining of being in LDR. Like it really forces you to be very strategic with your time with each other. So like in order to really want to make it work, you have to really put in a lot of effort into nurturing the relationship. I think like that's like a one positive thing that you can take away from long distance, you know? Yeah.
You got to come up with other ways.
Yeah, not other ways lah, but like...
No, but like in a relationship where you can see each other, like you can develop like physical things physically together a lot quicker and easier.
Yeah.
Because there's touch, there's this, there's that. There's like, you don't misconceive shit over the phone. Because that happens all the time. You know, like whether or not you know each other, you could be having video call, you could be texting, you could misinterpret what someone's trying to say. Like literally happens all the fucking time in any part of your life, right? Not saying us specifically, I'm just saying like,
I do think it happens to us quite a bit.
It does happen to us too, because also like we're living it, like I said before, we're living in our own lives that have their own levels of stress.
Yeah, and this is a bad thing of me. Like sometimes when Leon talks on the phone, like I don't really pay attention.
Yeah, that's also the hard part. Like I mean,
and I always use like TikTok, and like Leon gets so
like it's like sometimes you think like, what the fuck is the point of us talking if you're not paying attention? And like I do it too. Don't get me wrong.
When we're FaceTiming, you're saying all this shit, and I'm literally watching TikToks, and I can barely hear you, and I'm just acting like I'm listening.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots.
Like
you do it way less than me.
I do it way less than you, but like, I do it as well. And like the thing is, like you have to be interested in each other as people. Like it's gonna. I think LDR will teach you really quickly whether you actually like each other. Do you know what I mean? Because you just get fucking...
it's true, it's true.
You just get fucking bored.
Like, why are you in this relationship for?
Yeah.
You know? So I think once you realize maybe that you really want to be in this relationship with that person, you just have to deal with these like negative feelings and focus on how to grow the relationship or like finding the end goal of LDR.
Yeah.
I think that's super important.
Yeah, you need an end goal. If you don't have an end goal, it's like no point.
Past 6 months of us being together, we've been actively trying to work out like what is the situation that is going to happen to us. Like, are we going to move to Australia or like him move to Singapore, or like what's the situation? And I think like because I kind of like was patient with it. Like, okay, if Leon met me at a younger stage of my life, I would not have been this patient. I'd be like, oh my god, it's like, fuck off and fucking date someone else. Like get
Yeah, but still, you're with me. Like, of course, you're gonna wait for someone who's good. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
no, that's what I'm just saying. Like, I think also when I was younger, I wasn't really able to see like green flag men because I was kind of like a red flag.
Yeah, you love red flags, but everyone goes through that. Every girl goes through the red flag phase, and
yeah.
it's typically when they're like teenagers till early 20s most of the time.
Meeting him now was also like kind of divine timing.
Yeah.
So
timing's
like the timing was
It's
like
not perfect,
it's
but
not
still.
perfect, but it's like it was somewhat like meant to be in my life now. And I also come to a stage where like I just really kind of want to settle down at some point, and like if I want to get married by like 31, I should probably look into finding a good guy. And like that's why like I kind of like decided to
And
okay,
then Jesus blessed her.
yes. Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing.
But yeah, then Jesus did bless me. And I met Leon, and even though it was like long distance, I was like, okay, you know what, I actually really wanted a boyfriend. And I was like, you know what, this guy seems nice. So I decided to go ahead with
She was
it.
in her fuck man era, but really wanted a boyfriend.
It's usually when you're in your fuck man era that you really want a boyfriend, but you don't think any guy is good enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, most of them aren't. That's the thing. No, but like
It's
you
true
would
lah.
agree. You would agree.
I just think like these negative feelings that I feel about like breaking up or like abandoning the relationship, I just take it as something that I need to look into and reflect on like on a deeper level, like what am I really feeling? Like am I feeling really lonely? Am I feeling like resentment towards Leon because he is not moving yet?
Did do this or didn't do that.
Yeah, like he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Or am I like really lonely because I really miss Leon, or like I just miss having like affection around me.
Mm.
And I think one thing I learned about myself is that like in the past I also am quite codependent. I don't want to do anything to like jeopardize our relationship. Then it made me realize that actually like when you're with a good person in a long distance relationship, like it's not perfect, but it teaches you a lot of ways to also like work on yourself. And I think I was working on myself a lot when we like started dating.
You were in the phase of like transitioning out of
My whole era.
like adolescence into like adulthood.
Yeah.
And I think you're like, I've been an adult for like a long time.
Yeah.
Now. You know, like you kind of haven't. Do you know what I mean? Like you lived at home, which is normal in Singapore, I get it, but it stunts your growth as a person. You know, you've made a lot of changes like, okay, yeah, you're less codependent, and then like you need to build your own reassurance. You need to get to a point of like self-confidence with your work and with yourself. And then also you went through some not so good dating experiences recently prior to when we met. And then all that stuff is changing friendships and all this kind of shit. You're in a pretty big change period, and then obviously you moved out of home and stuff like that, which has probably been the best thing. So like all that stuff is always going to impact you, and it's going to impact the way you are in a relationship with someone. I had already been through all that shit like years ago. So for me, it was like, I'm already at the point of like semi-stability. Yeah, obviously I have my problems too. I'm not perfect, but like I still can learn and be better as well. So it's like we're both sort of in this period together.
Building on what you said about like change, I was also like changing a lot for Leon, and I wanted him to change for me. So one thing that Leon is stubborn. So
Yeah, it's true.
sometimes I just like a guy to give in to me, and you're not like the kind to like give in to me.
Yeah, I don't really give in to anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something I feel like he needs to work on.
Yeah,
And I've
definitely.
been quite vocal about it, because I told him like, if you don't give in to me, like I'm just gonna like fuck you up lah. Like it's tiring because naturally I am the one always giving to you.
I don't really see it like that, but yeah, I know what you mean. But like this is the thing, like
But I'm quite okay.
it's because it's also because potentially subconsciously you see it as like giving in to me, which is like a submissive dominant thing, but I genuinely don't.
It's not like submissive dominant. I'm just saying like I'm quite chin-chai as a person.
Yeah.
Like you're very rigid.
Yeah, I'm
So-
pretty rigid. Yeah.
So it's like sometimes it's like all the small things that you don't want to do when I want to do it. Then you're like, I don't want to do. Then I'm like, okay lah, never mind. Like to me, I can have a good time anyway.
Mm.
But actually, I want to do those things,
Mm.
and I want you to like do all those little things that make me happy. But you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. Then I'm like, okay, never mind. Like close my eye. So that's my problem. My problem is that I am too like chill. Like it doesn't bother me now, like in the right immediately, but it bothers me like as it accumulates, you know. So you have to learn how to also just like drop your ego a bit lah, and put me first. It's not like submissive dominant. Like we actually had a really big fight about this, but to me it's more like it feels nice to know that your partner is like going to let you have your way, and not because he agrees with you, but it's just because I just want you to be happy, so I just let you do it, because I do that often. Yeah, for you, because you can be a bit anal.
I am, yeah. That is my personality.
Yes. That's why you don't strike me. You don't strike me as a Aquarius. You strike me as a Virgo.
Girl, what the fuck is you talking about?
Virgos are anal.
Whatever that means.
What do you think we like others can do to help keep like LDR alive? Like, you know what I mean? Like we've been doing this for almost 3 years
like
now.
visit each other. I don't know. Like fuck. I mean, like our situation is pretty unique. I mean, like you being flexible with your work has really allowed us to spend more time together than most LDR couples.
Definitely.
I think that's like a really big advantage that we have, because I've LDR'd before and I saw her maybe like twice, 3 times in 2 years. So that was intense. So like that's like literally 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 months of like not seeing each other, and then also way younger at the time, so you just don't know what the fuck's going on. Like you're in the most crazy part of your life, basically partying, doing all that shit. But then now as adults, like in this LDR, like we have the advantage of you being able to, like last year you visited like every 6 weeks almost on average. So that was not every 6 weeks, but like
every 2 months.
Every 2 months on average, pretty much. So like that obviously helped a lot. So I mean, number one tip would be, if you can get time off, definitely spend it together. If you could get a remote job, even better. I don't know, like these are things that are obviously not easy, but in terms of actually like how it works in the day-to-day of LDR, I think one thing I learned from you is like, you know, gift giving and stuff like that. I'm not really a huge gift giver. Like, you know, like flowers and stuff like that. I'm not really a huge like romantic in that sense, right? Like I've never been, and like definitely something I could have improved like in previous relationships as well. And a lot of guys who listen to this are probably like, oh man, it's just flowers, who gives a shit? Like I also thought like that, and it's also like, oh my God, $60 for flowers, it's a fucking waste of money. Like, yeah, but $60 realistically not gonna change your fucking life either. So I'm just like, it's not gonna break your bank either, but it's gonna pay off to make the girl happy. And yeah, it is just for that reason. Yes, they make money, these florists make money off that, yeah, but still, like, the chick is going to be happy. So I think that's something where I learned, like, okay, send a card with the flowers that has a nice message that, like, I'm not just doing it to make you happy, like, I want to send you that message, but the flowers is the token that you believe is a way to show love. And you told me that pretty upfront, like, in the beginning as well. And I forget to do it regularly. And, like, at the same time, like, you got to have balance as well, you know what I mean? But like, I think for certain times where, you know, if your girlfriend's feeling sad and stuff and she misses you, then send her something, or like, you know, like send her a bouquet of flowers. Like you can easily do it from wherever you are.
Leon saw me crying, so he got me flowers today. How sweet of him. And
like, it's genuinely like not that expensive, and you just do it within your budget, man. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be, like guys will, like their main response, and this happens all the time. Like, and I hear it all the time with guys at work, even during Valentine's Day, like, oh fuck, roses are so expensive on Valentine's Day. I'm like, bro, it's one day. Also, like, you work a job, you make money, like, what are you gonna spend it on? Like, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I used to think like that as well. And until after I saw how it impacted you and how much you appreciate it, then I realized like, oh, it's actually worth, even if you can only spend $30, just fucking spend it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not actually the value, it's just the gesture. So I think that's a big learning for me. Like, guys just think in extremes, that's the problem. They're like, oh, she wants the flowers, it's going to be so fucking expensive. There's like different tiers of flowers. And then like, oh, it's like, oh, she wants a gift. Like, what does she think I made of money? Well, maybe get a better job. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. You know what I mean?
I think if you are that calculative with...
You probably shouldn't be with someone.
Yeah, then you shouldn't really be dating that person. I think
That's
it's just like you
pretty
have to learn to show your love in other ways, because you can't physically be together.
Yeah.
So like it could be like dedicating time in the day to talk.
Watch series together. Yeah, we watch series together.
Yeah.
Like
listen to like similar music playlists, write like letters.
It's like stuff that typically, when you think about it logically, it's like kind of corny, but like that's the stuff that you need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you have to just be more romantic, like
You wanna
when
spend
you're
time
in
together.
LDR, because like you're actually just not with that person, so you kind of have to show your love.
yeah, 100%, of course.
Yeah.
Like, and you do it back to me as well. Like, you bought me like a really nice steak last time for Valentine's Day. Because that's what I love. So like,
Yeah, we spent our birthdays apart this year, and I bought him like $300 worth of meat, and I was really sad. I don't even remember what I
last
did.
year also, no?
No, last year.
We spent yours together, but we
Yeah.
didn't spend mine. We have never spent mine together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought him a lot of steak, and
It's like literally $400 worth of
Yeah.
the best steak from the best butcher in Melbourne, which I
See?
then ate with some of my
I'm
best
not-
friends.
I'm not materialistic, okay? I just like expensive things.
What? This is about the steak.
Yeah, I know, because you always say I don't chip in enough. But I buy you nice things.
You know when you go on TikTok and you see those memes where it's like you've paid for everything, but then your girlfriend buys you like one coffee after you spent like $500? That's literally what this is. And she's like, oh my god, I've paid so much for you.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
Anyway, yeah, so I did that nice gesture, and
That was nice, that
he
was
really
nice.
appreciated it. And my birthday, he got me like a 100 stock
100 stock bouquet of roses, yeah.
bouquet. Yeah, which I couldn't dry, and I was really upset about it, but it was like so beautiful. It was the first time in my life that I ever got like such nice flowers, and all my friends were like, wow, so pretty.
Well,
so
that's what she asked
nice."
for. She asked for it, so I got it for her. And I think that's also the thing, like, she asked for it, so it made it obvious. Like, I'm really bad at gift giving. Like, I can't think about, like...
Actually, you're not too bad lah.
Not too bad, but, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't come to me naturally, I'll be honest. But then, like, I think...
You're like the best gift giver I've dated though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some bar is low.
Yeah, the bar is... I'm not going to take anything away from myself, but the bar is definitely not the highest. But yeah, and like I told some friends about it at work, and they were like, oh my god, that's crazy. How much did you spend? And I was like, it's a couple $100, man. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I would spend a couple $100 on something else, and it's like her birthday. Like, I'm not even there. Like I mean, also if you think about it, you take... Like, think about it this way. If we were together, I would have taken you out for dinner.
It's about the
Like,
same lah.
It would have been more. It would have been more. 100%.
The next time we spend our birthdays together,
we're going to eat street food.
I don't mind street food, but I just want a really nice flower, and like I think it's like for me, what's important is like thoughtfulness.
Yeah, that's the most important thing with
Yeah,
any gift, man.
like-
It's not really the monetary value.
Yeah,
if your person thinks about that, you are definitely... It's not good. It's not good.
But I think for me, because I'm quite a like lover gal, so to me it's like the thoughtfulness of listening to me and like buying me something that I want is more important than the gift. But
It's
obviously,
basically an act of
but
service,
obviously,
I
if you
guess.
buy me like 2 roses for my birthday, I'll probably
That's-
slap you lah.
Yeah, of course not. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm going to buy you...
Exactly,
I'm going to send
don't-
you a photo of roses or something.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes guys get it twisted, like, oh, because like this, like my girlfriend is like easygoing and sweet, I'm just gonna like be cheap with her because it's like the thought that counts, not actually the gift. But you trying
Balance.
to gaslight her into thinking that it's thoughtful is not actually thoughtful, bro.
No, I think it's a balance. Like, I got you that, and then I got you a printed card with some of our photos on it from when we first met.
Yeah, that was cute.
That's probably like the right balance, I would say.
Yeah.
And that card cost like literally $20. Like,
Yeah, I thought that was really cute.
I think guys would also say like, fuck, $20 for a card. Like, you know what I mean? But like,
I actually made you a book, but it never came.
yeah, we'll use freaking wrong dress, man. Anyway.
What Leon said is more productive, like having a
If
community
you can,
of people.
yeah.
I have a lot of girlfriends who are in LDR as well, so
There's a lot
Yeah.
of people who do it in Asia. I think it's not
Yeah.
uncommon.
yeah, so like one of my best friends, her boyfriend lives in England and she lives in Singapore. So it was actually really nice, like to have her because she's been in a long distance for a longer time than me. So
Yeah.
she has like a lot of girl advice, and she's also like a really close friend of mine. So we can kind of like share our grievances together in a space that people don't really judge. Because I feel like a lot of people who do LDR, they feel like really isolated because a lot of people don't understand why you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of friends would be like, why are you doing this? Like,
And people, I think people have a bad perception because they're like, oh, how do you even know like you can trust him? It's like, shut the hell up, bro. You know what I mean? Like you get there's comments like that. It's like, oh, is he cheating on you? Is he being with someone? It's like, oh my god, like, and then that's really negative in the space because like, firstly, like we have no reason not to trust each other. That's never even crossed either of our minds. 2, don't fucking have the energy to do that. And 3, like we're just trying to focus on being positive. So when you have to surround yourself with people who, if they are doing long distance, are also positive influences on that. You know what I mean? So you can share your thoughts and feelings with them. They can relate to you. They can feel that. Whereas like, I think it's not to say that people who are dating physically in the same place don't have good insights to give you. Like, of course they do, but it's just so different.
The nature of the relationship is so different. So I think sometimes they obviously people who are in like relationships like in real life, like they feel that it is true their relationship is better, like, because it's a more ideal form of being together, right?
Yeah.
I think at the same time they also want to make sure like you're happy, like they come from a place of care.
Yeah,
You know, so like they rather you date someone like in Singapore, like make your life easier. Yeah, it's important to have people who can understand what you're going through. So that, you know, like you don't feel alone. Because sometimes you don't really want to listen to advice.
Stop giving me advice.
You just want people to listen to you.
Yeah, you want people to listen to you. You want to
empathize.
just like be able to let it out, like complain a bit. Like,
Yeah.
you don't really want. Sometimes you don't need solutions as well, right? There is sometimes no solution, no immediate solution.
Another like point of contention in the LDR is like the anxiety you get of like fully committing to this person and like them not being in the same country is like kind of like going all in when your investment is like 10,000.
It's your time.
Huh?
It's your time.
Yeah, it's your time. And then I think like also because I came from like a broken family, so I've never been like fully like 100% committed, like mentally. Like I always feel like relationships will end at some point.
Yeah, naturally, yeah.
It's kind of like one foot in, one foot out. And then I think because now that I do long distance, it's like I really have to put like both foot in.
You can't do it half-half.
Yeah, I can't do it half-half because if I do it half-half, then it won't really work out.
Yeah, you might as well not do it.
Yeah, so I think it was a good learning lesson for me to kind of like face my issues of commitment.
I think it's just more like do it with the intention that you want it to work out.
Yeah, I mean
like it's not like you're like, yeah, cool, like we'll talk and we'll be in a relationship and then like because that's just opening yourself up to be like, if something better comes along in my city, then I'm gonna go for that. And like that's just like, to be honest, a pathetic way to date. Like, you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be doing that.
I think that's like not so much dating for like compatibility, but more so like dating
for company or some shit. Like
yeah.
just making sure that you have someone, which is like, if you're doing that, then that's actually because you probably most of the time, like you one, you don't enjoy your own company, and 2, like you're insecure, so you need someone to validate you all the time. I think if you do, like if you're in a long distance like that, it's not really a long distance. It's just like a freaking pen pal basically. But then if you're gonna do a long distance, just do it with your intention and like just acknowledge that there's gonna be some bad times. There's gonna be some bad times, but as long as there's an end goal, like for us, the end goal is like, you know, I moved to Asia and we're closer together, or like we live together and stuff like that, and we know that that's probably gonna happen soon.
I think
because we're making steps towards it.
I think it's important to have like some sort of time frame.
Have a time frame.
Yeah, because I feel like I actually spoke to my therapist about it, like about how I feel like really tired from long distance and stuff like that. And she did say like with most LDRs, like you have to physically end it by the 3rd year mark. I'm not saying this is like a foolproof checklist, but that's what my therapist told me. She said by 3 years, you should try to like physically be together. If not, you kind of grow accustomed to like living without each other, and then like that's something that you can't have in a relationship, because if you can live without each other, then why are you all together? You
stay here, or we move to a different city or whatever, there's going to be good outcomes for you as well. You know, and that's also something we've spoken about.
Yeah, so I think move not out of obligation, but because you see
a future, basically.
Yeah, because if not, like, if your partner feels obligated and like they're giving up so much of their better life, they might feel a lot of resentment towards you. I think it's only natural. So it's like, it's important to like talk about these things before you also make the move.
Yeah, because like there's going to be times where you think like, fuck, I'll just move so that the relationship will get better. But what if you move and you don't get a job or you don't do this and that. And all these things are like real, right? Like these are real concerns for your life. And like these are things that will impact your relationship. So like there's gonna be times you're like, fuck, this shit's too hard. Like I just want to pack up and move and be with my girlfriend and then figure it out.
Yeah.
And like we've talked about it, times when we're really desperate, like you would say to me like, oh, just quit your job and move, blah, blah. And I'm always like, I can't fucking do that because I have a mortgage, I have this, I have that.
Yeah.
And you're always like, you need to be more spontaneous. And I'm like, you don't understand that I can't, but I think that's when it comes back to communication. It comes back to like, okay, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is where my head's at. This is my timeline. This is when I think it's going to happen. Can you help me with this? Can you do this? Or like, can we do this together? I think that's probably where we've probably become a little bit better now. But initially, you had heaps of doubt because you were like, she'd ask me every fucking week, are you actually going to move? Are you actually going to move? I think you're going to stay. I'm like, what the hell? We literally just had a big chat about, I want to change my life. Like
I'm just anxious.
But she's like a anxious, like nagger kind of thing because she needs that like reassurance and like, I get it. But at the same time, like if you be proactive with it, then you can stop them from thinking that stuff. Because like she initially thought that I was just all talk. And like, and to be fair, in my past relationships, I have been a bit like of an all talk kind of guy. Do you know what I mean? I've been a bit of an all talk kind of guy.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, I would be with a girl long term and then like end goal obviously to get married and then like would say some shit and then like I just wouldn't follow through, you know, and like it's a trend in my life in other ways. So like I think it's valid, but now that I've communicated it and like things are maybe hopefully moving in the right direction, like that anxiety is like going away slowly kind of thing.
I think, yeah, I feel that my anxiety with Leon about him moving has definitely subsided. It was like quite high like the past few months, but I see active change on his end and like he's putting his words into action, which I feel like is the most important thing.
I'm trying, you gotta try.
Any person that you date, if they say something but they don't do it, like even in like friendships, like if they say something and they don't do it, then they're just talking shit.
Yeah, you need to see some action.
So like never really believe anyone's words till they put in like concrete steps to do something about it, which is like kind of like my best pro-life tip. Like trust the actions, don't trust the words.
Yeah, words mean nothing without actions, right? Like they go hand in hand. So
yeah,
I think that's probably like maybe the biggest advice if we could give something. It's just like have a plan or like have some sort of vague thing, some end game, and then work towards that. And then communicate along the way. Like that's the only thing you can literally do.
Yeah.
Other than that, like if you don't have that, like
if you don't
have that, you're gonna get lost and you're gonna be like, fuck this, you know. And like honestly, yeah. Like
also, I think with LDR, you have to also be more understanding.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to understand each other, situations and empathize more. I think because it calls for it. Like if you guys don't understand and empathize with each other's situations, it's just going to be like, oh, he did this, oh, she did that, he didn't do this, she didn't do that, and
fixate on that stuff.
Yeah, you fixate on the things, the absence of things that could have been done, and it kind of creates a really negative space for your relationship. So yeah, empathize is also another thing I would like to end the video off with. I mean, not overly empathize, but you get what I mean, right? Yeah. If he's fucking,
don't overdo it.
Don't overdo it. Know your boundaries. Yes, another pro tip. Know your boundaries.
Don't overdo the empathy.
Don't overdo the empathy. I know us girls, we empathize too much. But know your boundaries and like expectations. Like what you want from your partner in the LDR.
Just make it clear.
Yeah, just be clear.
Guys can't read women's minds. Okay, so just make it clear.
Communicate.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
But that hard.
Yeah. And now we've come to the end of the second episode. Do you guys like it? Do you enjoy Leon's yapper mentality? And stay tuned for the third episode where John Chua will be coming on and we'll be discussing what happened in the past. Remember to like and subscribe. Remember, say something.
Bye.
Say, remember, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe to my TikTok that's coming. Just joking, I can't do this shit.
Okay, bye. Say bye.
Bye. Yes, bye.